Welcome to digital class, and now we are looking at this question. So here says that Richard studies the information above about 4 cells PQRS, and a tick actually indicates the presence of the part of a cell. Now let's look at PQRS individually. So P, as you can see, there's cell membrane, there is cytoplasm, cell wall, and nucleus. So basically, as you can see, there is cell wall. So you know that this is probably a plant cell, or unless it is a single cell organism. But the problem is there's no chloroplast. So it is a very high chance that it is actually a bud cell or a root cell. Correct. Because bud cell and root cell are plant cell, but they don't have chloroplast because they don't need chloroplast. Okay, let's look at Q. I'm making assumption only, okay? Q, there's cell membrane, there is cytoplasm, there is nucleus. So it's very a typical animal cell because it doesn't have cell wall, it doesn't have chloroplast. So it is an animal cell. A typical animal cell. Now, R have cell membrane, have cytoplasm, but it does not have nucleus. So interestingly, doesn't have chloroplast, doesn't have cell wall, doesn't have nucleus. Then it actually could be an animal cell, but to be more specific, the animal cell that do not have nucleus, something like red blood cell. Correct. Okay, red blood cell don't have nucleus. So let's look at S. S, interestingly, you have cell membrane, it has chloroplast, you have cytoplasm, you have cell wall, you have nucleus. That is basically, you know, it's definitely a plant cell, but to be specific, because it has a chloroplast, it could be a leaf cell, a cell that's taken from the leaf, because leaf has chloroplast. Or of course, this one could be a single cell organism also lah, okay? But let's try not looking at that side first. Let's try to look at the question. A, based on the information in the table above, which cell or with S is R taken from an animal? So definitely not RP, definitely not S. So the possible answer is actually Q and R. Okay, again, red blood cell is an animal cell. It's just that it doesn't have nucleus. Next one. Which one of the cells PQRS cannot reproduce? And again, when I talk about reproduce, we know that it must have a nucleus. Teacher, does it mean that red blood cell cannot reproduce? I mean, you can understand that red blood cell produce in the bone marrow, as listed in your notes, okay? Which you can find in page number 3 in your book. Okay, so again, why it cannot reproduce? Which cell? The question asked was which cell? We know it's R. Again, why? Because it does not have a nucleus, which is actually needed for reproduction. Let me just try now. Which is needed for reproduction. Okay, let's move on to part C. C. Richard claims that cell P, let me just highlight, is not taken from a leaf. Do you agree with him? Explain why. So the answer that you need to answer is, do you agree? Yes or no? And explain why. P, not taken from a leaf. Let's see what is P. P, we are assuming it to be a bud cell and a root cell, not a leaf cell, because it does not have what? It does not have chloroplast. So when he say P is not a leaf, I actually should agree with him. Say yes. Why? Because it doesn't have a chloroplast, and leaf cell needs a chloroplast to produce food. So you can say yes. S cell, P does not have chloroplast. SLP does not have chloroplast. Leaf cell have chloroplast to what? To make food. Okay, so I think that's all for this question. Very simple, very clear, and that is exactly what you are supposed to expect from the questions. Okay, so again, it's very important for you to identify PQR as what it could be. Okay, based on the parts of the cell that's given. Okay, again, a very important questions. Although it's easy, again, you must know how to differentiate between all these different cells. Okay, and I hope you learned something. That's all from me. Thank you. See you. Bye bye.